Hello everyone, Abhay here. In this presentation, I'll be walking through my approach of how we can add chain of thought reasoning capabilities to a smaller language model. And for the same, I'll be using Google's Tunix library. I'm here representing Team MVP. This was the problem statement that was given to us, which I've just written down in a single line. We had to add chain of thought reasoning capabilities to Gemma 1 billion parametered model within a single TPU session. And also we had to tackle the problem of sparse rewards. So the solution that I had come up with was to have a metadata aware distillation process. The distillation of the data distillation that happened was using the DeepSeek V3 model. And we basically used SFT as in supervised fine tuning and GRPU to get the final reasoning model. So the first part of our solution involves self-grading datasets. What I had done was to take the prompts from the Hugging Face datasets, different datasets for the different domains like science, math, creative, code, etc. And I had created this metadata column over here, which included the various checkpoints and the final answers. The checkpoints would basically come handy when I'm creating the reward function, and I'll basically reward whenever some of the checkpoints come into the reward tag of the generated answer. This particular response generation part was something that was handled using DeepSeek, or you can say also the teacher model, DeepSeek V3 or the teacher model. Here I've basically divided my rewards into three different types of rewards. First being the schema adherence format reward. Second being process reward, where it basically takes help of the checkpoints that just got generated. And finally, the outcome reward, which basically tells that if my ground truth matches with the output that got generated just now. Then in the technical implementation, there were certain roadblocks that I had come across. First being the which one to use, whether to be DPU or GRPU. I had avoided DPU because it comes handy when we are trying to have a chosen or rejected pair, or you can say when I am sure that one is better than the other. While in GRPU, GRPU is a technique where I can introduce the reasoning capability and satisfy the metadata checkpoints as well. The next issue was with the end of statement token, which was happening because there was the data set that I had generated wasn't of the exact token limit. There were certain you can say data points which were more than the token limit that I had defined. The final was the memory hack. It wasn't the model training wasn't fitting in one TPU session of Kaggle. So I had basically defined micro batch as 1 and mini batch as 4, which allowed me to have the generations happening one at a time, but the accumulation of the gradients of these four generations that could happen altogether without having an out of memory crash. Finally, for the results, within 800 steps of GRPO, I was able to have a model which is able to decompose a given prompt and also have a verifiable logic. The verifiable logic which will come in the reasoning tag over here. And this basically also tells that we are able to move on from a black box model to a much better model. And finally, we are also adhering to the XML compliance of reasoning answer. Thank you so much.